Yo, yo, yo. It's the campaign, man. What's good? What's good? Everybody, ain't nobody here yet, but how you living? How you living? Merry Christmas if you into that type of shit. um, happy Hanukkah, happy holidays. Period. I'm too like fade to like try to really think about that, especially when that's not the topic. The topic of this stream is logic versus emotion. Oh, I gotta mute myself for a second. All right, I'm back. Yeah. What's good? What's good, people? What's good? Hey, Valen, what's good, man? What's good? So, all right. Like I was saying, the topic of this stream is logic versus emotion, and when is one when is logic okay to prevail and when is emotion okay to prevail? Because like everything in the world, it's a fine line between one thing or another, love, hate, etc. Um, so like when is it okay logic to win over emotion and vice versa? Because if logic always wins, then that's a callous motherfucker. And it's just like, do you really have emotions? Are you really truly a person? And then you have sorry, I'm trying to send this link and just seeing myself on the other stream kind of jarred me out a little bit. But yeah, so I was just saying, like, if somebody always wins off logic, then it'd be a cold world. Like, the world would be extremely cool. But then if everything was based off emotion, you would never know what the fuck is going on. Everything would be so likely to change, like like the seasons or like the weather type shit. Like you would never really have a consistent um, baseline. You know what I mean? You would just you would just be fuck. I lost my train of thought. But basically what I'm saying is I feel like it's a fine line for anything. Don't disregard logical emotions, things you should feel but might not, based on personal experiences. Okay, that is a very, very good point. That is a very good point. But what do you consider a logical emotion? Give me an example of a logical emotion. Because I have an idea. I know what you're saying and I feel you, but I feel like there's a counter to that, and not even because I necessarily believe with that, just to play devil's advocate. That the reason why I try to have these discussions is to build my mindset and build you guys's. Everybody elevate. You know, everybody should ascend to godhood, and not to say that everybody's a god or to be like that, have that many delusions of grandeur type shit, but just to view yourself as no less than what you are. But in doing that, you have to truly know yourself. So Valen, just anybody in the chat, just give me a logical emotion, like something that, like, give me an example of a logical emotion. because it's like I wanna try to get like a somewhere where I can branch off of it for. That's why it's always good to have like people in and people comment and make sure you guys like the stream and stuff like that. Just because it's like it gives me something to branch out on, another idea to add upon, and I feel like that's what a discussion is. But I feel like we need to have real talks, and that's why this series, I guess, is called Real Talk. So it's like whenever something is just like really on my mind, is a real discussion I don't feel like people are having that have the platform to have it. I feel like we can have it here, and we just grow what that is, as that comes. Because I always have these type of thoughts and shit. This is shit that be keeping me up at night. You know what I'm saying? Like this is shit that be fueling me with my music when I write, or when I feel like when I want to like do some live reactions or whatever, something that I can just push myself with. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why it's always good to have people that are smarter than you. I never want to be the smartest person in the room, because if that's the case, then you can't learn shit. And if you stop learning, then you're gonna die. I mean, you're dying because you're automatically from birth, you're dying. From birth, you're dying. But if you don't, so if you stop striving for whatever you wanted to strive for, whatever you feel is good as your life's mission and life's goal, then you're just gonna be dying. And that's just because from birth we die. Now that the time frame of A to B is dependent on you and depending on circumstances, a lot of shit happens. So, life, it's a fucking roller coaster. But if you lose that drive and that will to constantly push your mind forward, then you just fall back, you regress. Instead of progressing, you're regressing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, if the goal is to to continuously change and become a better person, then why are we overlooking that shit? Oh, let me see about myself. Like walking in on you and your girl and another man, you should feel hurt, angry, but because of whatever reason, you just think it's funny. Damn. When you get to that point with a bitch, bro, it's like I really don't care. That's crazy. But no, that's a good point. That's a good So that's what you saying logical emotion is. Interesting. Because what would have to happen for it to get to that point with you where your mind is just like, okay, whatever. It has less to do with her than you as a person, though. Oh, so you mean just being like one of those callous motherfuckers? Like, so you mean basically being a sociopath? Like having no emotions type shit. So you have to fake certain emotions. So like if you catch your girl with another nigga and you really truly never cared, but you have to put up that like, oh, how could you? When in reality, you don't give a shit. That's so it's like, okay, that's a perfect type of person. So if people like that rule, right? Because that's somebody that is devoid of emotion. From what you're saying, that it has less to. It's more about the experience than any sociopathic thing. Okay, well, so would you say it as like a point where you get so jaded to it's like I already have it in my mind she's gonna cheat on me, so I really don't care. So the fact that I just walked in and seen it's just like, oh, well, I was just fucking this other bitch, so I ain't even like. Is that like more on that type of like just because of that specific experience gives them that? All right, I just don't care. Like if you go on a date with somebody and they're really feeling you and y'all kiss or whatever, and you just not feeling it, you know. All right, I got you. I'm not there to like. I need the StreamYard link. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why, like, especially people like Valen, because Valen has a very profound way of thinking. So, especially him and his wife, because she's so caring and and she's all about the betterment of mankind versus him. I mean, versus herself. The way you said him. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I sent you the link. You. Can't hear you, my guy. Valen, you there? Well, where was I before I forget? Oh yeah, I was just saying, like, if let me give an example. Okay. I don't want to do that one. I don't want to use abortion because I feel like I'm gonna fuck it up, and then I feel like it's a fucking terrible. It's gonna be a terrible thing. Yo.
What's happening, man? Yeah, and unless I don't know what I just jumped to, but unless you got super, super strong feelings, I wouldn't touch that particular subject.
Oh, what? With the abortion thing?
I'm gonna say smorgasbord. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even
Oh,
saying the word.
oh, no. That's what I was saying. I didn't want to use that. I just know that's the hot button issue, but I'm not trying to go that hot button type shit. And not and just because it's like, you know.
All right, I only got a quick second. But I did want to jump in because I can't. It's hard for me to explain in text. But the idea is that you've had the thing I've used is extreme. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's an experience that it's experiences in your life that you don't react the same as you probably being the operative word should. I use an extreme example, i.e., just kind of thinking it's funny that your girlfriend's getting smashed by some dude. You know what I mean? Just because in your life maybe you cheated a lot or this, that, and the third. There's like a tons of things that could have happened that led you to this, but it could be as simple as here's a good way. I reverse it. When, for me, I don't like when people like hug me. That's supposed to be a positive emotional thing, but for me, it's negative. I don't have the intellectually emotional response is to feel comforted, but I don't have that.
Well,
you see
yeah, I feel that. Because there's certain things that be like, yeah, when people say, yeah, oh, my mother, my heart, it's just like I don't feel that. Like, I get it, but I don't feel that. You're supposed to know what that is, but I never truly felt the mother's love, because it's like, in reality, I've always either been the foster child or just a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I vibe on that. Like out of anybody, I'm probably the person that understands that the best, and that's a real hole in somebody. Real talk. That's a hole I still have to this day.
Yeah, nothing will ever be able to.
Like, real talk, and especially around Christmas time, if we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna talk about it. Like, when you watching everybody else having that fucking Andy Williams Leave It to Beaver fucking Beautiful World Christmas, like it's a wonderful shit, and you over here like what? Like, for me, I'll speak on myself. I speak for myself and only that. I watch my wife get like presents from her cousins and her, her mom and her dad and shit like that, and I'm over here like, cool, baby, like that, because I'm happy she's getting stuff, but there's still that part of me that's like, well, if I had family, I'd get shit too.
Like, especially like when you just need to talk to somebody and just like to have that mom figure to call when shit really just fucking up.
Preach,
and
man. Preach.
You just don't, and then you see somebody else had that shit, and it's just like, not even that you hate it. It's not even that no hate shit. Just, damn, I really wonder how that feels. Like, no bullshit. How does that feel? Because I'm always been
that's something a lot of people will never understand, Jack. Like, and when you bring it up to people, like I bring it up constantly because A, I love making people uncomfortable. B, I want that shit to be something that is not uncomfortable to talk about. Some people just ain't got families. Like, so like that'd be like if we talked about people being black, like, oh my God. Okay, we get it, you're black, but you don't have to tell everybody you're black, okay? Like, could you imagine? Like, we get it, you're gay, you don't have to tell everybody you're gay. We get it, you're this. But because it's not like a visual thing, and people are only starting to tiptoe into this shit, like with the mental health aspect. But there's so much more to it. Like with shit like this, when the absence of familial love in any person degrades the soul, like in a very real way. Like, and I believe that.
There's times where I really will feel heartless. And it's just like, damn.
Yeah, I was watching this comedian dude, Asian dude from Daily Show. I forget his name right off, like Donnie Chan or something like that.
Yeah.
But he's talking about, I don't give a shit about anyone except for my wife, my kids, and their opinion of me. If you're another human being, you can fuck off. I don't give a shit. I'll stop talking to you mid-sentence because I don't care. And I'm like, I feel that so much. Like, I got my little tribe now, like real talk. I know, brother. Sheet. That's right. Sheet. Sorry. You gotta reinforce what he speaks.
It's like, bro, to see that shit, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it's people that you view as and look at like, as your family, maybe not be your mom or whatever the case is. The people that's dead, when you see them like having everything, and then you just like you reflect on you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn, that shit hurt. That shit hurt.
You know, and the second you try to talk to somebody about it who doesn't understand, they're like, "You should just be grateful for the stuff you have, man. Life's good. This, that, and the third." And it's like, bitch,
Like
that's like
you just don't understand.
you don't get like. And I tell my wife this shit all the time. That's like the food merchant telling the hungry person to just relax. Like that's not how this works. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be hungry because you not, and it's not even because you have all the food. You know what I mean? You having all the food has nothing to do with my hunger. I just happen to be hungry. You know what I mean?
You happen to have food.
Yeah, you just happen to have food. I'm not hating on the fact that you have food. You know what I
It's,
mean?
yeah, it's just like, especially like when you don't have that heart. You really don't. Like, I've never really felt wanted type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't like. So it's like when it's like certain times, it's just I feel like the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk. I had the same shit. And wait, how old are you? 24. Yeah, it's at around the same age. And like, because I'm 34 now. Like, so that's a decade worth of time. 10 years ago, I got my ass in gear and started going like back to school, getting my shit right. And 8 years ago, I met the woman that will be, my wife today. And
Yeah.
there's this thing about when you demand better of yourself.
Yeah, you get better.
That's right. And I'm a little bit of lying goes a long way. You know what I mean? Like not everybody for a long time. It's only because of my wife that I'm able to live my truth and be like, haha, I'm an orphan. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like before I was just like, yeah, I come from wherever. I kind of just bounce around the topic. I didn't talk about it. I know you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I
You know
know
what I mean?
exactly what you're talking about.
Like, oh, so where are you from? Oh, I'm from all around. Don't worry about it. And then, you go around and around and around. But so the more you answer a question like that, the less attached you feel to things because you don't have anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because that answer isn't even real. It's you not wanting to face the reality of that answer. And this is what my wife showed me. Like she helped me get to this point. And if you can't face the truth of your life, how is anybody supposed to face that truth of your life with you? And I was like,
that.
bit right? Ain't not a lie in that whole fucking thing, man. You know what I
No,
mean? And she's absolutely true.
but see, I've gotten to that point. That's why it's like good shit. I appreciate it.
What's happening?
I dig it, my nigga. But no, I mean, it's like I be feeling like I'm so alone, bro. Like that shit bothersome. It's so bothersome, bro. Like in a house full of people, you can feel so fucking alone, so distant, so detached.
And honestly, a lot of, and this is just me telling you, like just from experience, a lot of this is the time, like the time of the year. This shit hurts all year round. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, it's bothersome all year round. But that shit hurts during the holidays. You know what I mean? Like real talk, it's bothersome when you just see the whole family doing their thing, and you're like, man, fuck that whole family. You know what I mean? But you go about your day during holidays. It's like everybody tries harder to be a great like this fucking Andy Williams family bullshit.
Everybody lies the most spectacular on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Right? Between Thanksgiving and New Year's, bro. Like real talk. It's like after years, everybody's so focused on themselves and being their better selves, they forget the whole concept of family.
They forget about you until either your birthday pass or Easter or you know what I'm saying? But it's just like deep down they truly care, but it's just like coming from somebody like me, it's like you never truly know. It's like you want to know, you think you know, you want to truly believe you know, but do you truly know? You know what I'm saying? It's like that constant fear with that hole that's just there. It's just not. You can't feel it no matter what. You know, even when everything's all said and done. You know what I'm saying? Because I
I'm not. I gotta stop you there. I gotta stop you there, my brother. I gotta stop you there because that is wrong. And that is your mindset, and that's gonna choke you up. And that is the same place I was. I'm not even gonna lie. I just hearing you speak my thoughts from 10 years ago, like I can't have that. There is some shit. You just gotta make it. It's not gonna happen. Like
no,
nothing is gonna happen.
True. No,
like,
go. You're right. I don't want to cut you off.
That mindset. The more, like I said, just like not telling people where you come from, that response eats away more and more and more until that is the truth that you made for yourself, and that was the truth I made for myself. So that's all I can speak on, and I firmly believe words have power. You know what I mean? If you keep saying the same thing like over and over and over again, eventually that shit'll come through somehow.
True, no, and you are 100% correct. I'm just speaking more so for now, like because I'm in that, because you know that, and you being in my shoes 10 years ago, you know that when you were in the process of making that change, of doing that and making those maneuvers to become better and to build your own family and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You still had your days. Even now, you probably still have your days where that shit just hits you. And it's just like, you know everything, but it's just like, it helps to hear somebody else tell you that.
I'm not even gonna lie. I still cry during Christmas specials because I want that family life. Not necessarily that I have anything like lacking with my wife and my son, but like you said, there's gonna be a mother-shaped hole if you don't have one. Like that's a very specific piece to the human soul, and if you ain't got that shit, it's gonna hurt forever. There ain't. I wish I could give you something better for that.
No, but that's the reality of it, and that's why it's logic versus emotion. Because logically speaking, everything that you said is 100% correct. Is when does emotion overrule, or does emotion ever truly overrule?
Emotion overrules more than logic. Like, surprised how much emotion will make you think logic is something that it isn't. Because emotion is so strong, it'll twist your brain up and make you think some real ass shit some fake ass shit is real. That's the fucked up thing about emotion.
And that is my point. Because today in the society that we live in, it's becoming more and more cool or popularized for emotion.
Right? People say caught feelings, like that shit's AIDS.
Do you think that everyone should spend time with their family just because it's Christmas or Thanksgiving, even though they don't like them? No.
Actually, see, that's what I'm on the opposite end. I say yes. You ain't gotta like somebody to be family. Like real fucking talk.
I mean, no. I mean, as true as that is, as true as that is, but that's why I'm about to delve into it, because as true as that is toxicity allowed? Do you allow toxicity just because it's that certain person? And if that is the case, if the answer is yes to that question, then how do you measure which person should have that power over you? Because at the end of the day, that's what they have, is power over you.
I have to argue this from my own perspective too, because I know that's pretty much exactly where you're coming from, because you're not wrong at all. Like the emotional obligation that family has over you is tantamount to a push button power. You know what I mean? Like a grandma, can you come help me with my, oh god damn it. Okay, grandma. Yes, I'll, you know what I mean? Even if you don't want to, when you got plans and shit, you go and help grandma because that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? That's the emotional logic, not the logical emotion. You see what I'm saying? The emotional logic is logic you build for yourself based on the emotions that you have, so you have the outcome that you want, and you create a positive situation where there really isn't, a la Trump. Like he's about to argue that he wasn't actually impeached. Like that kind of like emotional acrobatic intelligence to pull everything to where nothing is your fault and things like that. That's another part of it. That's the other end.
Yeah, and that's and yeah, and that's that. Can you say that last part again? I want to make sure I heard you right.
Ascend. I don't remember. I just talk, man.
You be dropping jewels, honestly. No, but I mean, but I feel that, and the reason why I say I feel that is because it's like that was my intent. That's where I was going with it. It's like family knows shit that other people don't know and give you that fake shit. Because like at work the other day, right? I'm telling the people, I'm like, yeah, there's people that I know for a fact talk OD shit about me. So I just leave them alone. I just don't say anything to them because I don't want anything that I say to be misconstrued and brought up in the wrong way or be outright lied on because I chose to engage in it and because I chose to engage with you. When I would rather just, okay, if it's about work, okay, you need me to make this? Okay, I got you. You don't have to speak to me. You don't have to say hi, what's up. And I don't know if it's because of where I'm like being like having a northern mindset, it's like, you know what I mean when I say that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, is that just customary? Do I have to do that just because that's what everybody else does? Or if not, am I looked at as the asshole? I mean, if so, I will gladly wear that title. But it's just like,
and that's another part of it because that may be your feelings and somebody else may feel entirely different. But it's your experiences that make you each feel that you're right about it. And it really depends on who has the more real life power. So the individual doesn't matter unless the person with the most power in the situation is actually compassionate. And that's the fucked up thing because and it's intentional. Like we were talking about the whole catching feelings and being compassionate and like, being a good fucking person is quickly becoming less and less, vogue and in style. And that's why. And because they like what's up? 1 second.
So what Valen was saying, man, you deal with what you allow. And if you give somebody that just because they're family, just because they have the same blood as you, if you give them that power and then they push that button, you can't be mad at them because they pissed you off. You know what I'm saying? You can't you can't be mad at them because they pissed you off when in reality you're the one who did that to yourself. You gave them that you gave them that opening, that opportunity to do that. And they did that. And that was the whole reason you didn't want them in your life in the first place. So it's like you just sacrificed your peace for what? Because y'all had the same blood?
No. Also, here's the thing, though. When it comes to family, people do that thing I was talking about where they use their emotions to augment their logic. And they turn an aunt maybe asking about their life. So what have you been doing with yourself? And they turn that into my aunt wants me, she put so much pressure on me to do this. I just can't deal with her asking me what I'm doing with myself. And people turn it into this horrible fucking thing when really it's these people that see you 3-4 times a year trying to make conversation, not knowing generational fucking shit like that. You know what I mean? They're just, so what are you doing with yourself? And it's the individual's experience. Maybe they don't like the voices grating, they hate the accent. They don't, they ain't doing shit with themselves. So they feel like the question is an insult. Like that, that lady knew I didn't have shit going on, and that's why she asked. So I had to say I wasn't doing shit so she could feel better about herself. And people do that to feel better about themselves when really it's just two people having the worst, just not trying to communicate. It's one person trying to communicate and the other person trying to turn it into something that it isn't to justify their emotional standing.
Yeah, you got somebody that wants to make sure that you ain't doing shit with your life to make their life feel better. Make them.
We talk about real toxic shit. Sorry, I'm also reading the chats, and I agree with you, and I'm not saying that, but I'll say 7 times out of 10, it's people making more out of something. One second, guys.
Somebody making a mountain out of a molehill. 9 times out of 10.
No, I need to change. One second, guys. I'm sorry.
You are not wrong at all. You are not wrong at all. And yeah, we are talking about real toxic shit because if nobody has the discussions, then who? Then who? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. If we're not having the true conversations, the real conversations, then how do we get to the root of the problem? If we don't get to the root of the problem and we're still mad about what's going on, whose fault is that? Yours or mine? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so hard to not get caught up in that trap. Oh my gosh, bro. I don't really think it's that hard to join. All you gotta do is click the link.
Yo, I was talking for like 2 minutes. I know I had myself muted. But yeah, and there are levels. Honestly, if your parents can't accept you for who you are and are actually belittling you, not that, oh, what are you doing? Like, do you have any plans? That's not belittling. That's just a parent's concern. There's a fucking difference. But if they're like, why ain't you doing it?
It depends on who's doing it.
You're not doing this. Aren't you, like, shouldn't you be doing this? That is different. That is fucking different. That's parental fucking that's fuck. Oh God, that's parental arrogance. They want to use your achievements to bolster themselves, and when you don't have any, they feel worse about themselves, so they lash out at you because parents are pieces of shit.
But that isn't that the whole. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that the reason why people have kids to continue their in the fundamental aspect of it? Isn't that the reason why niggas have the kids as basically their trophy? You got people that's like, oh, I want that, especially people that want and plan for kids. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm using Google Chrome, bro. Sorry about that, guys. All right, that one's back. Now go ahead. What you were saying?
There is, like I said, like there are people who are in situations where their family treats them like legitimate shit, degrades them, makes them feel like shit intentionally for the various reasons I was talking about. But
my biological family told me I was going to be the next Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right? Damn, that's rough.
Wow, right? I was like 8, 9. Crazy shit.
It depends on how they raised you. If they raised, see, this is a good question. I like that question because as a parent and as an orphan, I have 2 answers to this. Do you think that people owe their parents something just because they raised them? It really depends how you were raised. Like, if you were raised with love and, I'm not even talking like they gave you things. Like, I'm not even talking they gave you things. Like, if you were genuinely raised with love and caring and they did the absolute best that they can, and you know that, and you never wanted for anything, like, you weren't hungry, you didn't have all the things you wanted, but you have everything you needed, then you owe them at least fucking the actual respect. Actual respect.
But see, but that's the thing though. If you're raised off respect, if you're raised that way, you're gonna give that way off dick. That's what the Bible meant when it said, "Raise up a child in the way he should go, and when they get old, he will not depart from it." Basically, just saying that when you train when you train somebody, right? If you train them the correct way every time and smack their hand every time they do it the wrong way, they're gonna start doing that shit. It's gonna become a habit, and when it becomes a habit, that habit becomes their pattern, and that becomes how they are in their life.
Facts.
So if you're raised off of functionality, if you're raised in structure, if you're raised in love, that's what you will ooze and give out. But if you're not, if you're not raised at all, if you raise yourself, if the world raises you, then you don't owe them shit.
Like, because I don't believe in that. Well, I fed and I clothed you and I gave it, bitch. That's what you're supposed to do, or they send you to jail.
That's what you do when you decide to have the child.
Exactly. I don't believe that doing the bare minimum that you can do to support a child, like, you know, you owe them anything. Like, it's the above and beyond shit that you owe parents for. Like, in my you know, opinion, and what I want for my son as a parent. You know what I mean? So that's also the truth in this. This is my wishful thinking for what I hope my relationship is with my son as well. So you have to take that experience and that prism that I'm pushing this through into consideration.
AMG, what you're not getting, that what we're saying is that if they are good people, you would have been raised in a good environment, and therefore you would automatically do that. That's what we're saying. We're saying that when you're raised in that environment, when you're raised that way, that is what you do, and you do that always.
Also,
no matter where you are, that's
science fucks this whole thing up, because this is an antiquated concept with modern technology interfering. Because the idea of taking care of your parents when they're old is like they hit 50, get pneumonia, and die. Like, and you have them in your house, and you keep all the family around, and that's just life in that from that mentality. Today, bitches be living to 100 fucking years old, and you know, it's just, there's a lot of differences. I don't believe in putting people in homes, just because I started my life in one, and I couldn't imagine like ending my life in one. So I couldn't imagine doing that to somebody else.
But at the same time, bro, isn't it about how you make the people that's supposed to that is supposed to fall back, you're supposed to be able to fall back on? If you do them slime, you expect them to just, well, I'm still gonna take care of you. You don't think that they should be like, you know, putting a home and no shit like that? Because I personally do.
I think there's an amount, like, regardless, your parent is an adult too. Like,
yeah, don't let me get this off. Don't your parents always teach you what you sow is what you reap? I mean, what you reap is what you sow. What you give is what you get, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that. Like, for older age, there is a measure, in my opinion, of personal responsibility. Like, as a parent, I don't ever want to be a burden to my son. You know what I mean? But if say, I don't know, like I'm 70 and I got to live with him or some shit, I want to, you know, at least him be living in my house while it's happening. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Just but something
as long as you're not like as long as you don't judge your kids for what they do and shit like that, you really shouldn't have a problem with it.
Right? My friend that helped me come. I know nobody knows this person, but he's been my best friend. He drove 3 hours to help me clean for 5 hours to drive 3 hours back home. And the world needs to know that kind of person exists.
That's a true friend.
Right? But as I was saying, while he was here, he asked, he was like, What if your kid turns out to be some kind of like horrible killer? I was like, I'm gonna love him. I will protect him from the world, and I will try to veer him towards just murdering evil people. You know?
Some Dexter shit.
Yeah, right. I was like, I don't. Life does not is like I was like, bro, you know me. You've known me for a long time. Life is not a sacred thing to me. So if he wants to take a few, all right. You know,
something to be got.
Right? Like, but as long as he ain't out there like, and he was like, but what if it's like he's out there like killing children and shit? I'm like, now you gotta go crazy. Nobody in the world's okay with anybody killing children. Like, I would have to put my son down because I wouldn't let anybody else do it. That's my answer to that. That's my love is fucked up.
AMG and Valen was on the same page.
Yeah, yeah, I'm saying, right? I couldn't let nobody else do it. That's my responsibility. Something I did. Ow, fuck another sandwiches. Something I did made him that way. And yeah,
responsibility for it.
It could be he's born with it. You know what I mean? That thing. But a lot of times there's experiences in life that push people to do shit like that. And anyway,
Dexter was like that because he sat there in his mother's blood for fucking weekend.
Yeah, 48 hours. Just
like,
yeah, I couldn't. Like, my baby's that age now, and Lord have mercy.
Like, bro, like, and that's why it's like for somebody to tell you that certain mental shit doesn't exist. But it's like, bro, what have you seen? What have you seen in life? What has happened to you in life? What are your experiences? Have you truly seen the dark side of humanity?
Thanks. Hey, I gotta go for a minute. I gotta take my dog out and get my kid some more milk. But
of course, if we're still streaming, man, if I'm still streaming, man, I'll let you. I'll give you the link
myself, so I can come back.
Oh yeah, you're ready.
All right, peace.
But so at BDV, if you want to, you could, get the link to if you want about it. It's just like when and that's a I don't how would we say that? Would we say that's illogical or emotional? Because it's like logically you could just have him put down, but it's just like you're gonna let somebody else put your son down. It's just like I don't want to have a kid right now because I don't feel like I'm ready. I don't feel like I'm there mentally to give that child everything that he needs. Like, and it's just like I wouldn't want to bring a kid into the world like that. I know how that shit feel. To not be wanted. And it's just like I'm so blunt, like if I have a kid, I'm never gonna lie to them about Santa Claus. Fuck no. My kid's gonna be too damn smart to believe that bullshit. A fat white man coming down the chimney. Nigga, we don't even have a chimney. Who the fuck has a chimney? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, you lie to your kids every day. But you want them, but when it's time for something serious, you want them to believe you. I don't want kids right now because I'm 17. I'll nothing a bit sooner than later though. Nigga, you better you ain't got I'll drop in Discord. I don't have Twitter, my nigga. I need to make one, but I really don't. I don't really fuck with this social media shit, bro. I really don't. It's just so much of a hassle, bro. Like I gotta learn that shit. And fuck no, really. That's the only reason I really don't have a Twitter. But I'm gonna drop it on your Discord link, my nigga. Uh, Hype Beast Morgans. There you go, my guy. You know, nah, I am no. It's just like I just don't fuck with it, bro. It's just like it's too much. It's too much. The world is fake as it is. I don't need to get on some shit where niggas can sauce up they fakeness. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to see a production of your bullshit. I just don't. I got shit in my mind. I got shit that I'm going through, shit that I'm facing. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. Stop it. Relax. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, no. I mean, eventually I know I'm probably gonna have to get one, but it's just like, bro, it's such a hassle. I'm dreading it. I mean, I want it, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Because I want that day to come where it's just like, yeah, I gotta have it. But at the same time, it's just like, bro, I don't want to deal with that bullshit.
Yo, what's good?
What's good? What's good? What's good, Morgans? My nigga, BDV. This nigga dropped out like a motherfucker. That's funny. But you know, is you know,
Hit the reset button, man. You good?
you straight? Wait,
I'm good. All right, we good.
I was pretty sure I was trying to stay there longer than 3 seconds this time, I think. You know, but yeah, how you feel about the topic, man?
Shit, the way I feel about it is like everybody's a product of what they grew up on, basically. Like, shit, you grow like say if someone grows up in a dope house or some shit, nigga, like you ain't gonna grow up to be a like you know, it's not saying that you're gonna be a drug dealer, but it's saying that you're gonna have the same mentality, somewhat of it as a hustler. You know where I'm coming from?
Oh no, I mean, of course, because I have the mindset of a hustler, even though I'm not even like doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I had that mindset. I can source my way into a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It's just I got to get that opening, that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? That's just about it. It's just like once you truly get to know me, you know what I'm saying? It's to love me, but it's just like how far you get to knowing me dependent on you.
Yeah.
It's a case by case basis. And it's just like you so fucking jaded. It's just like
Like, don't get me wrong, this is good shit though. Most of the time, it's good shit. Most of the time going up, but everybody's a product of what they really grew up around. Like, only thing as a parent, if I was a parent, shit, my kid, like you told Valen, if your kid was killing people and doing shit, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be the type of person. You doing it the wrong way. If he's gonna do it, you do it this way and don't get caught. I can't do nothing after that, you know.
Yeah.
But if he's doing some crazy off the wall stuff, like matter of fact, that reminds you of the story, right? This lady, her son. This is a story I know about. Like, it was in the news like years ago. This lady, she's been reading her son. She read her son diary, right? Her whatever. The nigga shouldn't have diaries anyway, but still.
What?
So basically, this lady, she knew her son was getting bullied, and then he was getting bullied, and then she went to the school and talked to him about it. And after that, he was still getting bullied. So he was writing in his journal, whatever diary, that he's gonna bring a gun up to the school. So she tried talking to him about it, and then she didn't tell me that she read it out of his journal. So she read the journal again, and he just got more secretive about how he just explained how more secretive he's gonna be about doing it. He's still on it, pressed, and so she turned him in.
Well, I gotta applaud her.
I
said I gotta applaud her. Cause it's just like I don't know what the fuck I would have did in that situation.
I don't know if I would turn him in or something got to be done.
I mean, But it's just like, I mean, what do? You have to. I mean, at some point, you got whether you turn them into a mental facility or what is it? Is a difference, but you know what I'm saying? Like, because they don't have to go to prison or to juvenile. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's ways that you can like help your son and give him the most comfortable setup he could have, type shit.
Yeah, because at first when she first confronted him about it, she took the gun that she had in the house away, hid it. Well, basically got rid of it, and he had no gun to get. So he's in his journal. He's wrote he's gonna find another way to get the gun, and he did find another way to get the gun. She called him on the way to school in his backpack.
Oh yeah, no, Fame had to go.
Yeah. But I think the main mistake she should have done, she should try to give him some mental help in between that.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like after that, I feel like she should have just got that and committed him.
Yeah. But most people, when they I'm pretty sure you've been around people when they have kids, they're like, not my child. They always want to say, my child didn't do that, or they won't never do that. Nah, everybody's child has a bit of them in it, so you got to think about your good and your bad too.
Yeah, it's just everybody's body's a mini you and whoever you have a kid with. That's why you got to be careful who you have kids with.
Because if y'all both psychopaths, you're gonna have like a crazy fucked up kid.
You giving birth to Dexter, my nigga. Matter of fact, what's Brightburn name?
That kid from Brightburn?
Yeah.
That shit had me, that had me scared to adopt kids for a minute though.
Should've do that to you, man. Like, it's crazy.
But the lady from Brightburn, she should have been discerned about that, but she kept talking about it's not him.
But see, that's that privilege shit. I don't want to say that's that white shit, because if you got money, you privileged.
Yeah. There's also unprivileged white people and there's privileged white people. And there's also privileged black people that's from like different countries, but I'm pretty sure there are not many in America that's not playing sports. That's privilege.
Yeah, just off the cuff? Off the cuff? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Just off being born type shit? Hell no. But it's the motherfuckers kid like Oprah. But like Jay-Z and Beyonce kids, they gonna be.
Hey, Ballin trying to get in.
Ballin back? All right.
Yeah, he back. Yo, my guy got the Jon Snow beard.
Yeah.
But you gotta say McQueen.
Yo, check this out though. I got it done, Jack.
Oh shit. That's little Ballin's room?
Yeah. Well, no, that's his playroom. His bedroom's upstairs next to us. This is going to be like for when he has the classes and stuff like that. That like this is the space for it, so that he understands. Like this is that space essentially.
There's a time for play and there's a time for not play.
Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. What did I miss?
All right, I was telling him about this story I had, right? That I heard. Some lady, good burp by the way. her son's writing in his journal that he was getting bullied in school, so she went to school to stop it.
Oh no, I was listening to that. Sorry, I remember where we were. And yeah, I think what that mama needed to do was not just go down to school and talk to somebody, go down to school and make a big fucking deal about it, so that he at least knows that somebody's behind him. Because if somebody does that, my first reaction isn't that. I'm obviously taking him back home, leaving the gun at school, and then I'm going to drag his ass back to school, and then be like, point him out. I'm going to be like, listen, I'm your gun. Today, I'm your gun. Point me at whoever you needed this shit to happen to. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't going to kill nobody, but I'm going to eviscerate them in front of the whole world. You know what I mean? like I said, unless he's out here killing babies and shit like that, I'm gonna be pretty lenient.
I needed a parent like Valen, bro. Mine for me every time.
We get the whole tour of the place.
Oh yeah, I haven't done, I'm gonna do that in a stream. I should do that.
But not like.
Oh my god, the one thing like I like it more than I initially thought because I had to spend a week cleaning it. But this place is a bit fucking dirty. But
trust me, no one has butlers around here. We good.
Facts. My room is fucked up right now.
Oh, I need a haircut bad. See, this is what happens when you ain't got mirrors, Jack. You just let this shit happen to you.
I mean, that's what happens when you're white, man, and you're married. You're good.
But yeah.
But nah, I would have to take my kid out to school, period, after that, though, the first time. Because, when you me being on the other side of the thing, like, not as a bully, but as a person around the situation. Your parents come to school, that makes things worse.
That's probably true.
It makes things a lot worse than parents think.
For the bully, for the bully, yeah. For the nigga getting bullied, yeah.
Getting clowned on it definitely doesn't help anything. You're probably true. That's me as a parent overriding me ever being a kid.
Yeah, I remember I was a kid at once, and I wasn't
like I didn't. I've never had a mom show up and stream and have my friends make fun of it. That's never happened to me.
Yeah. Oh, that happened to me though.
I know. I was
Yeah, I read that on my shoulder, on my chest, like a badge.
That's what before BDV was all swole. That's when that nigga was small.
No, this shit happened like 2 months ago.
No, nigga, let me get my lies off this. This nigga.
No, wait. When I come back, I got a story for you, though. I got a good story for you. Hold on. Give me a minute.
Yeah, bullied. He was getting bullied in class. He was like, all right. I'm gonna come back the biggest, blackest motherfucker you know.
Right?
That nigga went to the gym, was drinking mad creatine, mad injured.
Straight up get that bull. He was rubbing the bull and gorilla semen on his arms to get him all jacked.
No, wait a minute. Hold up. You just
you never done that?
No, I never.
This is 100% bull semen, brother. Let me stop.
Whoa. That's what you get from jerking the bull off, my nigga? Is that what you saying?
That's what yes. If you try to wrestle down a bull and jack him off, it is a workout.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need that kind of workout.
He's like, I'm good. I'm not jacking off a bull kind of shit.
I feel like that. I feel like I don't. Yo, you back there? We can hear you.
Oh man, damn! I said I was only going to stop in for a minute. Here I am.
I mean, man, yeah, and this wasn't supposed to be this long. It wasn't supposed to be this long of a stream. It's just, it's real conversations, man, with real people.
Facts.
So
don't stop something good just because it ain't what you expected it to be.
Yeah, no, and that's why I'm just going with the flow, man. I went to today. I actually got somewhat of some type of rest. It was a little restless still, but it was like the best sleep I've had in like 2 months.
Well, that's good. That's always good.
So, I just wanted to stream. I'm a little groggy, but I've just been up all day. So.
Oh my god, dude! I can barely lift my arms right now. Like real talk, I am
making all them babies, man. Making all them babies, man. Be going in, I see. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Got this $1,500 bed. That shit's like it's one of those like California Kings. Like that shit weighs 900 fucking pounds of like floppy dick. That's the only way to fucking explain the flaccidity of this fucking bed. Like picture like a legit 90-pound floppy dick that's like 9 feet long.
Please, I don't want to picture that. We had one somebody came in the stream and then just heard that and it was like, all right, I'm gonna head on out.
No, they didn't. They heard that. It was like, that would be a giant penis. Wow. That's what that was.
Let's get off the giant penises. Please, pause. We can get the pause even saying that.
Speaking of penises, I haven't seen anything. I'm not looking for nothing. Don't get the wrong fucking idea. But I heard what about Paul Logan and DaBaby?
What?
I don't know that. Not separately, not together.
I mean, whoa.
Separately, not together. Sorry, like there's something involving DaBaby and his penis, and something involving Logan Paul and a penis. So that's all I know. I haven't been paying attention because
okay.
Doesn't really interest me. But I'm curious if anybody knew.
Thanks for that, I guess.
Hey man, I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to find out. All right, buddy. Hey.
I'm good. I don't really need to find out.
Stop. Oh God. Sorry.
Did he just drop somebody?
No. I had to pick up something. And I'm fucking fat and lazy. Oh God, my phone's at 2%. I'm actually gonna head out.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys wanted to say any final words because I'm about to end. It was a nice discussion.
I'll throw something real quick. All right, holidays are a time where people give in to emotional obligations and hypothetical negativity that may or may not arise. During this time of wanton emotional abuse and manipulation, I recommend and humbly ask that we all keep ourselves in mind. It's not just other people we have to care for, but ourselves as well, or we'll never make it through it. Because remember, life comes at you in every direction. So let's be prepared for it. Happy holidays.
That's why I fuck with this motherfucker. He came up with that off the spot. I know he did. I know he came up with that off the cuff of his fucking head. And that shit was fire and inspiration. And we're going to end it on that. Shut up and say to these motherfuckers. We out.
Peace.